are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 215, and I'm joined here by the shining truth himself, Demo Diamond. What's going on? Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you
Good.
feeling today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Glad that we could finally do this here. We got it all. We got it all settled. A little bit of gotta
Yeah.
love that time zone difference. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. But we
Oh,
got
yeah.
it. We got it working. We got it working. We are live technically at a 7 p.m. So if you're in the area, if you're gonna be there this weekend and all that good stuff, it's 7 p.m. for you. So it makes
Yeah,
it worked out.
exactly.
We promoted it for someone 7 p.m. But we are here live. But before we get into all the good stuff, talking about all the matches, all that good stuff coming up, I do have to ask you, Demo, the question I ask everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the podcast. It's called
Yeah.
Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, though, the craft, what does that mean to you?
I feel like the craft means all facets of wrestling. I mean, it means the referees, the managers, the the wrestlers, the venue, depending on where you're at. But also, I think it means it's deeper than that. For me, it's like being able to respect the fact that if you're in this business, you need to go to training and stuff like that, and still, continue that path that we walk on. Training is forever, and you're paying your dues always. So that's
Oh,
what that means.
definitely so. There you go. Love it there. So now I do want to ask you that. Again, we go from that question to this because I always hear the question. Everyone likes to throw it out. What was it that made you fall in love with wrestling? All that good
Yeah.
stuff. What was it that got you in? But I like to change it up a little bit. I like to ask it this
Okay.
way. What was it for you that made you decide not only are you a fan of this is a cool hobby, but what was it that made you decide I now want to step through that squared circle? What was it that it clicked like, no, this isn't just something I want to watch. I
Yeah.
got to get in there.
It was Shane Taylor, in ROH, actually. One of, and if not my favorite wrestler, like hands down. I don't remember. It was like in the 2020 era, so like of ROH. It was like I think everything was he was getting pushed and everything was about to shut down and everything. So he it was the movement that he had with STP and having all the black wrestlers and everything, and it was just a surreal moment. I still have that picture saved, like with all the black wrestlers in the ring at the same time, fists up, everything. And I remind myself every day, like this is the reason that I got into this, is to be something more than just a wrestler, and to have that feel for somebody else as well.
Gotcha. No, again, that's definitely just truly inspiring moment. That's a moment I talked about when I had Shane on here. So I'll definitely
Yeah,
let him know, hey, you again, we talked about that, how that was an inspirational moment for a lot of people. So I definitely
yeah,
can imagine he's gonna love hearing that, how it continued. And again, it got someone to want to step through those ropes as well. So
yeah.
that's awesome to hear. But okay, so from there, now how do we get here? How do we get to the shining truth? How does that become? How does that grow? How do we get to Demo Diamond that we see right here? How does
Okay,
that start to
so
start?
for me, I trained at DFW All Pro
Gotcha.
before I ended up going to MPX later after I graduated. But I trained with DFW All Pro. Shout out to them and Lou Gotti himself. Uh, I trained there. I was trained by Lou Gotti, and it was about it was off and on because COVID and everything, so it was a little
Of course,
little
yeah,
little
yeah.
wonky. But I trained with the DFW All Pro. I made my debut, I want to say, in like January for our memorial show that we have for Sterling. They just recently had another Sterling show, but I made my debut in a battle royal. But at the time, I was the hidden gem Demo Diamond, and the
Okay.
name came because one of the guys I used to train with, Corey O'Neill, he used to never be able to say my name, my legal,
Gotcha,
and
gotcha. We
and he
won't put out
was
the
like,
shoot there. Let's keep it at
yeah,
demo here.
yeah, and he was like, you know what? Forget all that. I'm gonna just call you Demo. And I was like, all right, dog. Like, those are like one of the first nicknames I ever got. So I was like, I'm gonna stick with that. And then Diamond came off of alliteration. I'm a sucker for alliteration. Uh, so like, if it plays on and it feels good, then I use that. Also, it was just at the time.
Something quick to be able to say like this, like
Yeah,
especially like doing the intro. I was like, cool, it makes sense. Demo diamond, it works. It flows the right way.
and it's unique, and it's like
Yeah,
it's a unique last name. Like I mean, besides like big Diamond Dallas Page, there's not a lot of diamonds out there that you can really, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely.
Uh, so that's where that came from. And then I was a hidden gem at first, but that didn't sit right in my heart because I was like, well, I just started. I don't want to call myself a hidden gem because then people think I'm going to have a big head and saying I'm a hidden talent of the Indies and all this extra stuff. So I didn't want that. So the Shining Truth came from when I was tagging with my former best friend, Delyn Cavens. And I think I was gonna go with Shining Demo Diamond, which also made sense, you know. But I thought deep into it, and I was like, hey, look, I'm what every athlete should wish they were at the time, you know. I mean, like cocky headspace. Like I'm 6'5", I'm 250 pounds, and I move like I'm about 4'11". Like it's just. So that's where that nickname came from. It was just to give myself an ego a little bit, so that way I can make my character larger than life. If that makes sense.
Got you. No, and it fits. Again, it definitely the size is there, the look is there, the attitude, the swagger. It's all
Yeah,
there. It's all encompassing. So it makes sense. It's the shining truth. It shines bright and definitely a bright future for you. Because when I was looking up again, I always like to do my research. I'm like, okay, for a young career, you've done a lot so far.
yeah,
Like it's. I was like, okay, cool. Like when I started looking at stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's been around from. And then I'm like, wait, the dates. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, he hasn't
Last
been
year was
around.
my rookie year.
Like, no, and I congratulate you on that because in
Yeah,
that short amount of time, it's been like just it's been the momentum continues. But that
yeah,
also that makes me ask for you, how did that feel? Because unfortunately, again, you started relatively in the COVID era.
yeah.
So for you, how was that like making that transition in order to be able to continue doing this, finding that passion, but then it's how do I go when everything is still in the midst of shut down 1 minute,
Yeah.
open another minute? How was that mentally being able to be like, you know what, I'm sticking to this. This is what I want to do.
So mentally, it was. I think for any wrestler is one of the most mentally challenging eras to be in. But I have a group of friends that I talk to on PlayStation. They've been my friends since I've been in like high school. We all have some of those friends, but one of them, his name is Zach, and I have another one. His name is oh jeez, I always say PlayStation names. I'm trying to think of actual names, but we're just gonna use Heidi for now.
There
But
you that's
they
one of those great moments that it's like, I just know the gamer tag right now. Why is the
yeah
actual
yeah
thing not
yeah.
coming to my head? It's all
It's in
good.
my mind, but it's in the very back.
Well, shout out to the squad there. There you go. Shout out
Yeah.
to the squad.
But anytime like I would start doubting myself or doubting what I was doing, they would be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, dog, you got into this. We know you can do it. We know you can push." And then on top of that, I have a supporting mother because I'm only 21. So at the time, I was in high school doing this and everything. Yeah, I was in my junior year of high school.
I love this because when I was originally starting in wrestling, I used to be
Yeah,
the same. I was one of the youngest,
yeah,
and now doing this, and it's like, wait a second, you're 20.
yeah.
Hey,
I'm on
I'm
20.
acting like I'm old, but I'm only 25 here. But
Hey,
I'm still just like it's good to see more of the youth. It's like, hey, again, but that to me that even clicks even more. Again, moments like
yeah,
that resonating again, seeing why again in that short amount of time you're doing amazing things. So I
yeah.
commend you on that, and I hope it continues.
I
So
definitely
we
appreciate it.
get to that though. We get to
Yeah.
now. You're going through it. You've been training. You get to that debut. How was that moment for you? Oh,
Oh,
there
hold
we go.
up. My end is frozen. I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Okay,
My
no. Can you hear? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
patience reconnect. Hello. Oh, jeez.
Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Gotta step out. Bye, y'all. Be safe. Yeah. See you later. I'm sorry. I have to go to training. Do you want the keys? I have the keys. Well, no, you'll be home before me. All right. Y'all be safe. Hello? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
It's all good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My
We lost
friend
you for a
called me
second.
to let me know he was here for training. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Oh, got you. All good. All good. Oh, there we go. We got you back now.
Okay.
Cool. So
But go ahead. What were
let's
you
get you
saying?
guys. No, I was asking about that moment for the debut. Now you
Yeah.
debut, and how was that moment for you
Uh,
mentally? How did that go?
so at the moment, debut was pushed back. Let's see, about a couple times. So it was
Okay.
like 2 or 3 times that the debut was really pushed back. So in my head, I was like, okay, well, am I gonna get the debut? It was a lot of mental thought in that. And then once we did it, the Sterling show, um,
Okay.
which I said is for Sterling Havens, which we lost before I even got to the training center or whatever. Uh, but like, it was surreal for me because that was the first show that I ever like paid dues on. That was the show that I did like got to the training center, and that was like our first show. And mental preparation, my gear got there the day of, so I was nervous, like
Talk
nervous.
about just again. That's almost too perfect though, because talk about pushback, pushback to the point that it's like, you know what? Okay, cool. The gear will come
Yeah,
hopefully when it comes.
yeah,
But it's like, oh wait, no, this is happening now.
yeah.
Gear, get here. Like, hopefully. Like, but no, that's great.
Yeah, no, the gear got there the day of. Boots, I had boots like I think the week before. I
Okay.
ordered them the week before or whatever, and then like the preparation, the mental, like this. I'm really about to, start. Like to me, it was like the start of my dream. Like training was there, everything was there. It made sense. Like I said, it was the most important battle royal we ever have. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Definitely.
So
No, and again, it's your start. Like it is,
yeah,
it's something right there. Just that moment, what the show was, that whole moment. It's a perfect start to it all. Like,
exactly. I think I lasted a good minute in the battle royal, but like in that moment, it was just surreal. And my body kind of went on autopilot when I first went in there, and then I kind of got to it, and I was like, okay, we're here. You know what I mean? And it was one of my best moments in my life, hands down.
got you. No, that's awesome to hear. So we go from that though. Again, rookie start into a battle royal. Now though, again, you've had your time and you're starting to it's starting to more feel a little more just natural here.
Yeah.
You're now part of this rumble though. You're part of the Texas Rumble. So how was this experience for you though? This past week, you got to be a part of this, lasting a good while in there, getting your eliminations, lasting a good amount of time in there.
Yeah.
How did that feel for you?
The Texas Rumble was a different beast. Came in at number 15. I lasted about almost, I think, 39 and 58 seconds. So 2 seconds off from 40 minutes in the Rumble. But it was a different beast. It was something I was really competing for. I mean, I've been when I got to MPX, I was kind of thrusted into the MPX title scene like pretty early uh, when we had Tatum as a champion. And, that didn't go well for me. I got eliminated by Tommy Becker. And then I had another title shot, and then it was against Eagle, and I lost that one. And I was like, man, this is my moment, like to get this big win to finally get that shot again. And for me, it was surreal because I would say that because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think I was gonna be an Ironman for about 40 minutes. um, and feel like I could still go. But it was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun with the TWC that was in there. I had got to eliminate Red Chambers that came in at number 30, that stole number 30 from me. But it's okay, you know. I eliminated him, and then Chandler Hopkins eliminated me, which I don't like that pew pew cowboy, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Hey, again, it's that momentum now. It's showing, hey, what you can do when you're in that Rumble scene. Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe the next one, that's where we finally bring home the win there.
man. Texas Rumble next year is mine. I'm calling it now.
There you go. There you go. But I do want to talk because that is the start here. We're getting ready as in less than a month away. It will be this extravaganza right here. You look at who's on that poster now because this poster got a few changes a few times. But
Yeah.
now we look at that left corner and there's some shining truth just shining through the poster there.
Hey, I've been
So
on every iteration of that poster. At
so
least. I think it was one that I wasn't on. I was on every iteration of that poster.
I was
So,
gonna say the first one I saw did not have you on. So I was boasting
yeah.
you up here. Like, there we go. Like you have
So, um, I think we changed it like 3 or 4 times at least. But the first one we had, for sure, when like the first poster dropped, I was on there. But MPX at the Epic is gonna be what what the title is. It's gonna be epic. Like for me, I missed Destiny last year. I am not missing it again. And I don't care what match I have, what moment I have. It's gonna be my moment. I mean, you talk about the build. You talk about big moments, big opportunities. Like MPX has the biggest opportunity to host a show with almost that's gonna most likely every time that we've had a show that is standing room only at MPX. So it's gonna be a packed house. It's gonna be that moment to where you can solidify yourself as one of the best in Texas. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
no, definitely so. And again, when you're looking at just that poster alone, there's a reason for it. It's a nice stacked just lineup right there. And again, the match is still to come. Definitely go follow MPX to make sure you stay up to date with all things getting closer to Destiny. But I do want to ask you that though. Being a part now of MPX, how does
Yeah.
that feel for you? Again, getting there, just how has that been, that atmosphere and their fan base there?
Well, their fan base hates me. I'm the most hated guy at MPX. We introduced something like the shot caller, where fans got to uh, throw a wrestler in there and change the course of the match. And it got used on me about 3 or 4 times. And then we had creative control, where they got to reverse our match and make us do it again. And it cost me about 2 matches. It cost me my number 30 spot in the Rumble too. But but other than that, like on a surreal, super real note, like MPX has been where I've shined the brightest. I feel they brought me in with open arms. They gave me a sense of direction. I mean, I didn't truly believe in myself all the whole time, and when I met Matthew Palmer and Athena and Richard Hill and the Pruitts, like it was a different vibe. I got Palmer. I told him this like recently, actually. I think the other day. Like if it wasn't for him, I don't think I was been as confident as I am in myself. Palmer, from the day I stepped in at MPX, was like, "Hey, I like this kid." Like, and since then, I've been, like I said, I've been in the forefront of the new generation at MPX. Me and I got brought in with my tag partner, well, my former tag partner, Dylan Cavens, and even though I don't like him that much, I got to give him his shouts because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in MPX right now. So
Gotcha. And I'm trying to understand. I don't know why you might not be as light, but I can imagine, again, with the swagger, with a name like the Shining Truth,
yeah,
maybe that rubs people the wrong way. Maybe just a little bit.
but that's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
that sounds
again,
like a them issue, not a me issue. You know what I'm saying?
I have to agree. Again, in most places I go to, I'm not the most liked anymore. You
Yeah,
saw my live earlier. Some people
yeah,
were
yeah,
trying to like
yeah.
a fellow
I seen
texting.
that.
Ruthless Lala doesn't like me right now.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know why. I'm a nice dude. We've had a nice
Hey,
combo, right? Like,
hey, exactly. I'm a nice guy under this, but not to them.
yeah,
I'm nice when I want to be.
see, I got you there. I got you there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep this going though, because now again we talk about that. We talk about that opportunity, but you're also a part of something that I feel like it's a little too perfect, especially with the name Demo Diamond
Yeah.
being part of this in the King of Diamonds here. So
Yeah.
that royal treatment there, and it's a little too fitting in a tournament called King of Diamonds.
There should only be one winner, right? Am I right?
It's
Okay.
a little bit of a no brainer
See,
there. I feel like.
I'm the best athlete in that tournament. I'm gonna say that hands down. I love Cappuccino Jones. I love everybody that's in that tournament. But I'm gonna just say it. I'm better. You know what I'm saying? But on a real note, when I debut, because that's my debut in the King of Diamonds tournament for Diamond State. You hear that? Diamond, Diamond, and then Demo Diamond. So I feel like the King of Diamonds should be Demo Diamond.
There you go. Everything is lining up. It's a little too perfect there. I don't know. But that's just me. So
Unlike Cody, I'm gonna finish my story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got it. I got it, big dog.
this might be a reason why people, but I'm just saying it might be one of the reasons
Hey,
certain people might not like you for saying a statement like that. Like,
hey, that's not my problem. Hey, we all got our opinions on situations.
hey, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But I do want to talk about this now. Like I said, I like to do my research. I like to do
Yeah.
studying up on, especially the guests that I'm going to have on. And I heard talking about certain names, and we're going to get into the rest of the list that I know
Okay.
you have some opponents you would like to face.
Yes.
There was one on that list that, again, we get to moments like this. Sunday, you face one of those,
Yeah.
and that is none other than the world breaker himself, Brick Savage. And I would understand why. Again, you're hungry, you want to get in there with the best.
Yeah.
Brick's a big dude. Like you're a big dude. But that's
See, that's where everybody get misconstrued. Everybody runs from the smoke with Brick. I'm a smoke chaser, dog. Like, the whole point of this, and like I told Shane in my comment section, what's a career without challenging the biggest, baddest people on the planet? You can't make a career out of challenging, smaller people and being like, oh, well, I'm the best wrestler, and I've never wrestled anybody bigger than me, or stronger than me, or faster than me. So with Brick Savage, we've locked up in a fatal four way, and last time we locked up in the fatal four way, I dropped Brick on their ass. So my point is, if Brick takes me lightly, I'm gonna drop him like I did in January. But I'm excited for this because it's a moment for me to prove that I'm more than what I say I am. It's a moment to prove that all eyes should be on me.
got you. I like to hear it again. That confidence, that hunger. Again, I hope that hunger for the smoke it pays off because I've seen what Brick can do in that square circle, and
Hey, I've had
yeah.
front row seats of what Brick can do in the ring. So like I said, it is what it is.
I hear you. I hear you on that. But now I want to go through the rest of the list here. We mentioned them
Okay.
earlier. We talked about how important that moment was for you, wanting to go in there with one of the baddest men on the planet, Shane Taylor.
Yes, sir.
So again, talking about that, another just size wise, just strength wise. That dude can hit.
That,
I've seen it
I,
firsthand.
I,
Like,
trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand.
so
But
talk about that. That wanting that match and what a moment like that would mean for you.
Shane T is the reason that I stepped in the wrestling ring. So to me, it only makes sense to challenge the person that gave me this passion, this drive to wrestle the way I want to wrestle. Not only that, when we took a trip, DFW took a trip to Florida. Uh, Shane Taylor was one of the first guys that I met, and like we actually had a conversation. We talked, and one of the first guys to tell me, "Hey, look, I know you can do this. I believe in you." Yada yada. Like, give me that pep talk. And every time I see Shane, I can ask him about something or ask him, "Hey, well, where do you feel I could do better at?" Or, you know what I mean? And for me, although he doesn't know it, he's kind of a mentor to me. Like, it's real. Like I said, I wouldn't have this passion to wrestle if it wasn't for Shane Taylor and the STP movement that he created. So I I just want to be in there with the biggest and baddest and prove that I can hang with anybody.
Got you. No, and I can imagine just that alone, that hunger for that. I can imagine Shane Taylor has no problems wanting to step up to that too. We
Yeah.
definitely, this is one thing we do here, especially when we hear matches like that. That graphic's gonna be made. We're gonna put it out in the universe here. And Shane's responded a few times when we've done those, so we're gonna see what happens. We throw it one more time and we see what can happen. Maybe we'll have to make some things happen over here in New York to see if we can make that
Hey, I'm
come
definitely
down
down
over
to
here.
go to New York.
But
Make it.
I do want to
Easy.
talk. I want to throw another name because we talked about again those huge challenges,
Yeah.
but there was one in there, one name you mentioned
Mhm.
that size-wise he might not be the biggest, but truly is a man of the hour, the problem child himself. You mentioned wanting to face Leo Rush.
Leo's another one of those guys that like fuel my passion for wrestling. I mean, if you talk about character work, you talk about promos, you got to talk about Leo. I mean, I, one guy that moves and is innovative in his own right made me think about some of the stuff that I do. But I mean, like I said, some challenges might not seem as big, but Leo's a big mountain to climb. Like I feel like if you talk about it, anything, making moments, Leo's made moments. You talk about doing it big, Leo's done it big. So
Oh
you
no,
got to go
definitely,
big or go home.
definitely. No, and again, that is when it comes to again not the size, but just again the talent itself. Leo is definitely going to be that
Yeah,
truly a tough challenge. So I definitely would
it's,
love to see a match like that, just to see the clash of styles too, just to see can you keep up again with the man of the hour right there.
hey, I move like a cruiserweight. This can't even keep up with me.
Ooh, there you go. Again, we're gonna make sure graphics being made. I already have the ideas of how to make these graphics look. So we're gonna throw them out into the
Yeah,
universe, see what happens. But we talk about opponents. Now let's talk about this. Again, very still young in the career. I can
yeah.
imagine that hunger to branch out, especially at the Texas areas in there too.
Hmm.
Where are some locations? We threw New York because again, I'm a New York guy here, so I can
Yeah.
imagine that NYC is going to be in that time frame. But what are some places you would love to travel to when it comes
Um,
to wrestling?
I've been to Georgia, but I've been to like Little Weesey. But
Okay,
I want to go to Atlanta and
okay,
wrestle. I want to. I really want to go to Chicago to wrestle.
okay.
Heard about it and heard about how crazy the wrestling fans are. I
Yeah.
really want to go experience that for myself. Um, like we said, New York. I think New Jersey is another one.
Yep.
I that whole coast right there. I think I definitely got to go.
Got you.
Also LA, California. I got to hit California.
Got you.
Uh, man, is it? It's where I want to wrestle everywhere. I mean, I've even put my hat in to go to Alaska, dog. So like,
Hey, that
I,
that is a thing now. Shout out to WrestlePro. They
yeah,
do events. So shout out to WrestlePro, that whole team over there because they made that happen. WrestlePro Alaska is a thing now, so it could happen. You never know.
exactly. So I'm trying to go everywhere, dog. I'm trying to hit all the states, all different countries, UK, Japan. I'm trying to hit it all.
Got you.
And it's not about when. It's a matter of just time. You know
Got you.
how long.
Got
So
you. I love it. I love that. But I do now. We talked about some names you want to face.
yeah.
I gotta throw one now at you because
Okay.
again, that hunger, just because of how you want to be in there and that swagger and all that. Especially that you want to come to New York, you want to come to Jersey.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a guy you might have to face if you ever come over here just because of the size. Maybe a Dan Moff.
Ooh, I've seen Dan. I've seen Dan and ROH. I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, look, dog. Any challenge I welcome. Like I said, I'm a smoke chaser. Any challenge, any hardships, dog, I welcome it. Like
Gotcha.
I'm down for anything. First time ever. Let's get it done.
Gotcha. No, I had to throw that out there because especially again, just that hunger there, and especially because of the guys that you've looked up to, the guys you've been watching. It's like Dan, especially that veteran of the game. So someone I feel like that'll be a nice test for you there. Not only just for your in ring, but just a true test of like that grit in there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
No, for sure. I completely understand. Because
man.
I faced Barrett Brown.
Okay.
You know, he was in New Japan Strong and everything, 50 caliber. And that was one of the tests that made me believe in who I am. I'm going to be honest, because me and Barrett went about, I almost say 15, maybe 17. I don't know. Around that time. But it was truly pushing my limits of myself and seeing how far I can go. And I need another test. I need to see how far I've grown since then.
Gotcha.
So
no, and those are those moments. That is something where I like to see when competitors have that. They have those moments that it's like, I made the right choice here. This is why we're doing this. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I put that sacrifice into this to be able to keep going, to not just have this be a hobby, but truly be that passion.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. But again, it's crazy to see that mentality, hear these responses with still such a young career under your belt. So I can only imagine even a year from now where this mentality will go, where that hunger will be. Who has stepped up to the plate? That's going to be the interesting thing. So I definitely can't wait to see where we go with that, and definitely to do a part 2 because we definitely after a little more time under the belt, we're gonna have to redo one of these because just to see again where the shining truth has been, where Demo Diamond is gone, and to see who knows by then that evolution where it could go as well.
Exactly.
So,
firsthand.
Definitely so. Definitely, it can always change. And again, with the people that you're under that learning tree, like a Matthew Palmer, that guy's always an ever changing in evolution. Like
tell me about it.
That guy. No, I've become a true fan of his work. Just seeing character wise, just the in ring where everything changes. The psychology of it is always great. So perfect guy to be under that learning tree.
Definitely. One of the guys that literally just told me to push myself. I was half-assing certain things in my moveset, and he was like, "Hey, dog, like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna make you better than that." So, I mean, I completely understand. He's always changing, ever evolving.
So I do have to ask that before we start wrapping this up too. Is that someone, again, especially after you have some more time under your belt? Is that someone you would want to face?
See, I've faced Matthew Palmer in tag team matches, but I have not faced him solo. And that is one of the matches I do want is Palmer one-on-one. Whether it's at Destiny or, down the line. You know what I mean? You never know. It's the biggest show of MPX history. So maybe we get Matthew Palmer versus Demo Diamond at Destiny. Or, we'll figure it out. But down the line, I do want that match. I do.
Got you. Well, there you go, Matthew Palmer again. Maybe again, just throwing down that gauntlet there. We won't even have to do much with this. We'll just clip this part right here, put that Destiny graphic on it, and Matthew Palmer, the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court.
Exactly.
I know he's a little calmer now. That's
he's a calmer Palmer.
He's a calmer Palmer now, but I still can imagine if someone tries to step up to him, he is not going to be one to shy away from a challenge.
Exactly.
But definitely. But Again, Demo, thank you so much for joining us here. Before we let you go, I want to make sure everyone that's watching this, please go follow this man on all of his social media. That's going to be on Instagram right there, The Truth Demo. Follow him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Demo Diamond PW. Again, I always say both because it's
Yeah.
still that app. Everyone knows what it is. Just go follow there and definitely continue to support not only him, shout out to MPX as well. Go support them. Again, that huge event coming up this March. Destiny, a lot of big things going on there. You might see some more, especially from that roster, be on here in a little bit. So keep up to date. And as always, guys, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft. And we'll see you guys on the next one.